Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to be working with Waterslide decals. I did promise in my last video that I would go into it a lot more in this video. So I have been playing with it a little bit. So you can get your Waterslide paper from Craft Buddies, and you will need an inkjet printer. I think they might also have laser. I'll have to check on that. And if you want to, you can use your Cricut. You don't have to. So this is great for people that don't own Cricuts, and they also want to do pretty crafts. So as you can see, I've got one here that I've already done. That one I've cut out by hand. So on the Waterslide decals, I printed one of them with high quality. So let's just grab this for you. So this was done on high quality. So as you can see, it's really nice. I've already sealed it, which is why you can see it's got sort of like a bit of a texture to it. And this was done on normal print. So as you can see, it's got lines across it. So depending on the type of printer you have, I have a Canon MG 2500. It's not the best printer. It prints though. So with that one, I had to do high quality print. So I made sure that it was monochrome because I only wanted black and white. And I did high quality, normal speed printing. And that worked great for me. So once you've printed it, you're going to have to seal it. So you will need a clear spray paint or a top coat. I don't know what they call it. This is a spray paint. This is the Marshall brand. It's clear lacquer. That's what it is. So I'm not sealing it with you. Reason being, I had to do it outside. I don't know if you can hear, I'm a little bit sick and I am battling to breathe. So doing it inside is not great for me. They do suggest that you do it 3 times. On these ones, I've done them 3 times. This one, did I seal it? I don't know if I sealed this one. I can't remember now. So with this one, what I did is I did sort of like a thin coat. I did it one way. I let that dry completely. Then I did a thin coat the other way and I let that dry completely. And then my third coat, I did a lot more. The reason I did it that way is I wasn't sure if it was going to make the ink run. With the one that we're going to be using today, I was a little bit more impatient and I actually laced it with the spray paint and none of the ink ran. But let me show you. So what I did is, you can see my bowl's got different colors. I placed it inside like that and I spray painted it in that, and then I let it dry. So why I like putting it into a tub like this is because it kind of keeps the dirt off. It's not laying flat where stuff can blow onto it. It's a lot harder for dust to get onto it, because you must remember, once you've spray painted it, it's going to be very susceptible to holding on to dust particles. I have cats, so that's a problem. Okay, so I think I've covered the bases. So you're going to seal your paper once you're done with it. You're going to cut it how you want to, and then I think you can move on to actually working with it. So today I'm going to be attempting a memorial candle. So this is the design that I've done. This is my grandparents. And as you can see, this one's super shiny. So this one I actually sealed a lot better, I think. So like I said, I didn't waste time and do very thin coats. This one I did quite a good coat. I didn't obviously pour it on there, but I made sure it had a good coating. So to give you a quick rundown on the way that I designed this, I used Canva to design this. So again, if you don't have a Cricut, completely fine. You can use Canva. They have a paid version and they have a free version. So what I did is I put my wording in, and then if you look under elements on Canva, you will find frames. So you'll go and click on elements, and then you will search for frames, and then you'll be able to find shapes that you can actually place your photo in, and that will give you the shaped photo. So I've got a candle here. It is a plain white candle. So one thing you've got to remember about Waterslide decals is that it's basically It's basically a tattoo paper or a very thin printable vinyl. That's the most basic explanation or description I can give of it. Sorry, I'm not feeling so good today. Winter's got me down. So because it is see-through, you need to make sure that what you're applying it to is not going to mess with it in terms of colors. So let's say, for instance, I was using a blue candle. On their face, on sort of the logo on his shirt, all of that would have shown blue because that is actually see-through, it's not white. So regular printers can't print white. You do get specialized printers that can, but regular printers do not print white. So whenever you see white, that's an absence of color. You'll see once we remove the backing, I'm not sure if you will see it because we're actually going to slide this onto our candle. So I'm not sure if you will entirely see that. I'm not sure. So the other things you're going to need is a bowl of lukewarm water. You don't want freezing cold water and you don't want hot water. It just needs to be lukewarm. I'm just busy unwrapping our candle. Oh, and it smells pretty. It says fragrance free, but it actually smells pretty. That smells real pretty, actually. Okay, so we've got our candle. You're going to need some paper towel, dust free is preferable. And then you're going to need your bowl of water. So I'm going to go grab my bowl of water. And then we're going to try this. I have my bowl of water. So as you can see, I've used quite a big bowl because I don't want to fold this in the water. And I want to be able to move around it if I have to. So I've got something that the candle could actually fit into if I wanted to. Now there's two ways that you can do this. You can either place it into the water face up, or you can place it into the water face down. Now what's going to happen when you place it face down, or what does tend to happen sometimes, is that it curls. So when you put it face down, it's going to curl upwards like that, and you can then take your item and place it into that. Now I don't feel advanced enough yet to attempt that, so I'm going to place it into the water face up. Now I've made mistakes with this before, and I do think that it's going to be a lot easier to work with a square piece. So let me just touch on that for you. If you watched my previous video, I ran into a lot of issues. I've actually got it here. So as you can see, I used a very thin piece and I cut around the wording. So it was a lot more difficult to work with. And what was actually happening was I was leaving it in the water for too long, first of all. Second of all, because it was precision cut, which means I cut around the words, as you saw, it wasn't a square or a big circle. It became a lot harder to work with. It would slide off of the backing. It would fold onto itself. I really had a hard time with that. So I do think that working with a square slash rectangle with a rectangle is going to be a lot easier. So something that I said I would do is try and get this off. And I actually have tried. I haven't soaked it in water like this, but I actually have tried under the tap, and this is super, like, it's on there. So I think if I soaked it for a couple hours, it might come off. But just so you can see, I mean, it is wet. It's not rubbing off. I'm busy rubbing it. It's not rubbing off. So this is actually quite good for unsealed projects. I mean, I can scratch it off. As you can see, I'm scratching it off. But that's with most stuff. So, like, if you're going to be scratching at your projects, you probably shouldn't do vinyl or Waterslide decals, because neither of those would survive being scratched in that manner. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm just going to dry that. So I do think it's great for unsealed projects. I don't know so much about high use, high touch objects, but I guess it could work. So previously I had left this in the water for 30 seconds. It was way too long. So we are going to leave this in for 15, 15 seconds. And again, our water is not hot. It is lukewarm. We are on, oh gosh, we've gone on to 25 seconds. It's so easy to lose. There we are. That's 25 seconds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if it's ready. So we're going to, there we are, it is ready. Okay, so now we need to very gently get this into place. I should have had something to lean on. Okay, so this side is the side we want to kind of hold onto, and we want to kind of pull the backing very slowly. So as you can see, there's two pieces here. I'm slowly pulling the backing with this hand while kind of holding this side. Oopsie. So I can also slide it off, but this is giving me bubbles on this side. So I obviously have to be very careful with that. Straighten it out nicely. There we are. Okay, so I've got this side and I'm slowly pulling the backing, as you can see. And I'm turning the candle, so this is quite tricky. Oopsie. Okay, now what we're going to do is move all of this, and we're going to just make sure that this is nice and straight. And we're going to use our paper towel to get rid of any moisture and get rid of any bubbles or crinkling in our product. This is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm still able to, while there's water, I'm still able to slide it around. So in a nice outwards motion, you do just want to get rid of any water and try to avoid crinkling the other side, of course. So I think on my part, I should have measured this better. So I used a A4 page and I cut it in half, lengthways, not lengthways, widthways. I cut it in half. So this is half an A4 page that I've done. This is gorgeous. And now I'm just very gently getting rid of all of the extra moisture. And again, while there's moisture in here, it's going to be very susceptible to moving. So let's just smooth this out. So what I do want to do here is I actually want to try to lift this without scratching my candle, and I do want to cut it because I made it a little too long. Oops. I just want to give it a quick snip, just a small one, without scratching my candle and without it folding. Oops. Okay, so measurement, very important. Make sure you measure correctly. And again, slide outwards. Oops. Oh, that's our piece of stuff that we cut off. So as you can see, I'm getting a few bubbles, and then what I'm doing is I'm working them out. Now the bubbles obviously were created when there was a lift somewhere. So you've got to figure out which way to rub in order to get those bubbles out effectively. And also try to remember that it's very loose while there's water under it. So holding it incorrectly is going to mess up your design, like I'm doing. So try not to hold and try not to pull it where you've applied the decal, like I've done in multiple places. Oh my goodness, why do I keep touching it? And what you can also do is, if you have any areas where you are battling, you can just re-wet it and it will help it to slide. So like here I've started to stick, and there I've applied more water, and now we can work on smoothing that out again. So it does require some effort or knowledge, or I don't know what the word is. It's going to take you a while to get used to it. There we are. Okay, that is good. That's really good. I love how it sounds surprised. That's really good. Okay, so I'm going to give this like 10 minutes to dry, and then we're going to decorate it with some ribbon. Oh, this is going to look so pretty. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, so I don't want to touch it too much where it is, but look at that. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. That is gorgeous. I need to get a nice picture with the light knot. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry, and then we can go on to decorating it. I have left that to dry, and we're now going to apply some, what do you call this stuff? Ribbon to our candle. So there's two ways that you can do this. I do not have pins at the moment. So the way that I'm going to do it, is this going to wrap around? Yes, it will. Well, the way that I'm going to attempt to do it. So one thing you got to remember with your candle is that it's wax. Not much is going to stick to it. So that makes glues quite difficult. It makes everything quite difficult. I don't think normal vinyl would stick to this. It would probably just peel off from the wax. So I'm measuring out my 2 pieces of ribbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up this ribbon. So I'm going to use some of my die cut and bond, which I have here. And I'm going to cut a thin strip out of it. Got it here. And I'm going to apply this to my ribbon on the inside, obviously, from the very end, and I'm going to work that inwards. Obviously I don't want overlap, so I'm going to have to trim that away, make sure that's nice and straight, not bubbly. And then I'm going to do the next one. So this part is entirely up to you. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. I just want to finish it off nicely. So the other thing you could do is, if you have a flathead pin, you could, you could use a flathead pin, and you could actually stick it into your ribbon, and that will hold it in place. Now the reason we're doubling the ribbon up is we want the ribbon to overlap and meet in the middle. Now you can have it meet at the back if you want. That's actually entirely up to you. Or you can have it meet in the front so that it meets like that. Entirely up to you. So I think I'm going to have mine meet at the back. Let's stand it up. So we'd have to do it like this for it to meet at the back. Let's see. It actually, so I don't need to double it up, I just need to make sure that it slightly overlaps. And we're going to make sure that this is cut neatly. And we're going to peel this away. Like so, and you can just fold the edges in. Okay, I do need to see the back for this. So I want it to be super tight. This is a bit long, so I can... Okay, let's snip this shorter. Now I want this to be nice and tight, so I am pulling it tight. Oopsie. And try and make sure it lines up. There we are. This is beautiful. And then we're going to do the same for the top. So this is also helping me hide my edges. Oopsie, fold over any overlap pieces because you don't want them sticking out. You do want this to be neat. That's one of the things I love about the die cut and bond, is that it's super easy to work with. It's so much less messy than glue, and it's very forgiving. In terms of overhang, you can just fold it into itself. So your ribbon's actually acting as a two-part thing. It's acting as a decoration, and it is hiding the top edges of your water slide. It's also actually helping it to stay on because it's holding it there. So the last thing that I do want to do is I want to add a little decoration onto this. And for that I'm going to use my glue gun. Now, with your glue gun you need to be very careful. And the reason you need to be very careful is it's a candle. So if you put the glue gun on it too long, it's going to melt your candle, and that's gonna suck. I found these super cute little things at the craft store, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I knew I needed them. And I finally know what I want to do with it. Look at that. That is going to be so cute. So I don't know if I should just put it at the bottom, or the bottom and the top. Kind of like it just at the bottom. I just think it adds that little bling that's needed. Okay, while we wait for the glue gun to heat up, let's just talk a bit about mistakes. So obviously I told you that I did make a mistake with my other decal, which I have lost now. So this one, it has lines running across it, but I'm not throwing it away. I'm actually going to use it for something. And I think that's very important. When you make a mistake, figure out how you're going to fix it. Don't just give up and move on, because that leaves a lot of wastage. It leaves you feeling frustrated. But if you can find a way to work with it and fix it, I think that will help you in a lot of avenues. When it comes to crafting it, it's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you thinking. It's going to keep you on your toes. Now again, if you're trying to apply this directly onto your candle, don't think it's going to work. So we're applying it onto the actual ribbon and not the candle. Let's move our candle upwards so you can see it. Okay, there we are. And again on the finger. There we are. And there we have our pretty candle. And I love it. I really do love it. I think that is beautiful. So let me know if you're going to be trying this, and if you have any other plans for the Waterslide decal. And I really hope that this video helped you to feel more confident to try it. You can hear I'm running out of breath because my words keep getting mixed, and I'm hoping I will be better soon. But look at that. That is beautiful. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you learned something.